Welcome everyone, join us today as we explore the life and career of the enigmatic musician Warren Zevon, known for his dark humor, biting wit, and unforgettable songs like Werewolves of London. So let's dive in. Warren William Zevon, born January 24, 1947 in Chicago, Illinois, in the United States of America. He was zodiac sign Aquarius. Born to Beverly and William Zevon, his father, a Ukrainian Jewish immigrant, worked as a bookie for infamous Los Angeles mobster Mickey Cohen, gaining the nickname Stumpy Zevon and even serving as best man at Cohen's first wedding. His mother Beverly came from an English background and was raised in a family that followed the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The family later relocated to Fresno, California, and by 13, Warren occasionally visited Igor Stravinsky's home, where he briefly studied modern classical music with Robert Kraft. After his parents divorced when he was 16, Warren quit high school and moved to New York City to pursue a career as a folk singer. Warren began his music career early, forming a duo with high school friend Violet Santangelo called Lime and Sybil. Their first single, Follow Me, produced by Bones Howe, reached number 65 on the Billboard charts in April 1966. After a follow-up cover of Bob Dylan's If You Gotta Go Go Now failed, Warren left the group. A third single without him and a session that included him were later released on the 2003 compilation The First Sessions. Warren worked as a session musician and jingle composer, writing songs for the Turtles, including Like the Seasons and Outside Chance. His song She Quit Me was featured in Midnight Cowboy in 1969, re-recorded as He Quit Me by Leslie Miller. His first solo album, Wanted Dead or Alive in 1970, produced by Kim Fowley, failed commercially. While he occasionally performed live, the following years saw him mostly focused on session work with other musicians. In the early 1970s, Warren toured with the Everly Brothers as their keyboardist and band leader, later working with both Don and Phil Everly on their solo careers. He arranged and played on Phil's solo albums Star Spangled Springer in 1973, and Mystic Line in 1975, co-writing tracks for Phil's Diner in 1974. Warren's Carmelita was also recorded by Murray McLaughlin in 1972. Frustrated by his lack of financial success, Warren briefly moved to Spain in 1975, where he wrote Roland the Headless Thompson Gunner with mercenary David Lindell. By September 1975, Warren had returned to Los Angeles, sharing a house with Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham of Fleetwood Mac. There, he teamed up with Jackson Browne, who produced War's major label debut in 1976. Contributors to the album included Nicks, Buckingham, members of Fleetwood Mac, the Eagles, and Linda Ronstadt, who recorded several of Warren's songs like Hasten Down the Wind and Poor Poor Pitiful Me. His 1977 tour featured guest appearances during Jackson Browne's concerts. Warren Zevon in 1976 was his first charting album, peaking at number 189. Rolling Stone hailed it as a masterpiece, with standout tracks like Carmelita, Frank and Jesse James, and Desperados Under the Eaves. In 1978, Warren released Excitable Boy, produced by Jackson Browne and Waddy Wachtel, to critical and commercial success. The title track, about a sociopathic prom night, referenced Little Susie from the Everly Brothers' Wake Up Little Susie. Other songs, like Roland the Headless Thompson Gunner and Lawyers, Guns and Money, combined dark humor with geopolitical themes. The album's hit single, Werewolves of London, featuring Mick Fleetwood and John McVie, reached number 21 on the charts. Critic Dave Marsh called Warren one of the toughest rockers from Southern California, and Rolling Stone hailed the album as a key release of the 1970s. In 1980, Warren released Bad Luck Streak in Dancing School, dedicated to his literary hero Ross MacDonald. MacDonald had participated in an intervention to help Warren with his addictions. The album featured a modest hit, A Certain Girl, a cover of Ernie K. Doe's R&B track, reaching number 57 on the Billboard Hot 100. Though it sold well, the album was seen as uneven compared to Excitable Boy. Highlights included a collaboration with Bruce Springsteen on Jeannie Needs a Shooter and Empty-Handed Heart, a ballad about his divorce from Crystal, the mother of his daughter Ariel. Later that year, he released the live album Stand in the Fire, recorded at the Roxy Theatre in Los Angeles. Warren's 1982 album, The Envoy, matched the high standards of Excitable Boy, though it didn't achieve commercial success. This eclectic collection featured songs like Ain't That Pretty at All, Charlie's Medicine, and Jesus Mentioned, the first of two musical responses to Elvis Presley's death, the second being Porcelain Monkey from Life'll Kill Ya in 2000. It also marked the beginning of Warren's collaborations with notable fiction writers, including The Overdraft, co-written with Thomas McGuane. The title track was dedicated to Philip Habib, the U.S. Special Envoy to the Middle East in the early 80s, who later sent Warren a letter of appreciation on State Department stationery. Additionally, lyrics from The Hula Hula Boys were featured in Hunter S. Thompson's 1983 book The Curse of Lono. In 1983, recently divorced Warren became engaged to Philadelphia DJ Anita Gevinson and relocated to the East Coast. After The Envoy was poorly received, Asylum Records dropped him, a decision he learned about through Rolling Stone. These setbacks led to a relapse into drug and alcohol abuse, and in 1984, Warren entered rehab in Minnesota. His relationship with Anita Gevinson ended soon after. Warren stepped back from the music industry, except for solo shows, and eventually overcame his addictions. During this period, Warren teamed up with Bill Berry, Peter Buck, Mike Mills of R.E.M., and vocalist Brian Cook to form Hindu Love Gods, releasing the single, Narrator, in 1984. The project went dormant, but Berry, Buck, and Mills became the core of Warren's next band when he signed with Virgin Records and released Sentimental Hygiene in 1987. The album, his best since Excitable Boy, featured a harder rock sound and tracks like Detox Mansion and Reconsider Me, with contributions from Neil Young, Bob Dylan, and Flea. During the Sentimental Hygiene sessions, Warren joined an all-night jam session with Berry, Buck, and Mills, leading to Hindu Love God's only album. His next release, Transverse City in 1989, was a cyberpunk-inspired concept album featuring guest musicians like Chick Corea, Jerry Garcia, and David Gilmour. Notable tracks include Splendid Isolation, Run Straight Down, and They Moved the Moon. Transverse City was a commercial failure, leading Virgin Records to drop Warren. He soon signed with Irving Azoff's Giant Records, releasing the Hindu Love Gods album, which included a cover of Prince's Raspberry Beret, that became a US modern rock hit, reaching number 23. In 1991, as a solo artist again, Warren released Mr. Bad Example, featuring the modest hit, Searching for a Heart, and Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead, later used in the film of the same name. Warren also contributed vocals to Casey Jones for the Grateful Dead tribute album Dedicated. He toured widely during this period, United States, Europe, Australia and New Zealand, often performing solo, and documented these performances in the live album Learning to Flinch in 1993. A fan of hard-boiled fiction, Warren collaborated with writers like Hunter S. Thompson, Carl Hiaasen, and Mitch Albom. He also played in the Rock Bottom Remainders, a band of writers including Stephen King and Dave Barry. Warren contributed to their 1998 album Stranger Than Fiction. He also composed music for the 1993 revival of Route 66 and the 1994 Tech War movies, providing the theme music and a song titled Real or Not, featured in his anthology I'll Sleep When I'm Dead. Between 1982 and 2001, Warren occasionally filled in for Paul Shaffer as bandleader on Late Night with David Letterman and The Late Show. In 1995, Warren released Mutineer, which included the title track, later frequently covered by Bob Dylan. His cover of Judy Sill's Jesus was a crossmaker, anticipated her rediscovery years later. Despite this, Mutineer saw the worst sales of Warren's career, partly due to poor promotion from Giant Records. In 1996, Rhino Records released a compilation, I'll Sleep When I'm Dead. Warren also appeared on The Larry Sanders Show and TV series Suddenly Susan in the 1990s. After a 5-year break, Warren signed with Artemis Records and returned in 2000 with Life Will Kill Ya, featuring songs like Don't Let Us Get Sick, and a cover of Back in the High Life Again. The album was critically acclaimed and marked a second comeback for Warren. His follow-up, My Rides Here in 2002, included tracks like Hit Somebody and Genius, and had a darker tone. Around this time, Warren befriended actor Billy Bob Thornton, bonding over shared experiences with OCD and their time living in the same building. One of Warren's quirks was hoarding identical grey Calvin Klein t-shirts. In 2000, Warren appeared with Thornton in South of Heaven West of Hell. In interviews, Warren revealed a lifelong fear of doctors, rarely consulting one despite his physical fitness. Before performing at the 2002 Edmonton Folk Music Festival, he developed dizziness and a chronic cough. After experiencing worsening symptoms, his dentist urged him to see a doctor, leading to a diagnosis of pleural mesothelioma, a cancer often linked to asbestos exposure. Shaken by the news, Warren resumed drinking after 17 years of sobriety. While Warren never disclosed where he was exposed to asbestos, his son Jordan suspected it was from playing in the attic of his father's carpet store as a child. Rather than undergoing treatments that might weaken him, Warren focused on recording his final album, The Wind, with contributions from Bruce Springsteen, Don Henley, Jackson Browne, and others. VH1 also filmed the recording sessions for a documentary. On October 30, 2002, Warren appeared as the sole guest on Late Show with David Letterman, discussing his illness and performing several songs. A longtime friend and frequent guest on the show, Warren thanked Letterman for his support and famously remarked, "Enjoy every sandwich." For his final public performance, he played Roland the Headless Thompson Gunner at Letterman's request. After the show, Warren gifted Letterman the guitar he used on the show, asking him to take good care of it. Personally, Warren had two children, son Jordan, born in 1969 with Marilyn Livingston Dillow, and daughter Ariel, born in 1976 with his wife Crystal. Following their father's musical roots, Jordan is a musician and songwriter, and Ariel is a singer-songwriter and former cafe owner in Vermont. Sadly, on September 7, 2003, Warren Zevon died of mesothelioma, aged 56, at his home in Los Angeles. He was later cremated, and his ashes were scattered into the Pacific Ocean near Los Angeles. And there you have it. Though Warren Zevon's life was tragically cut short, his legacy endures through his timeless music and fearless approach to songwriting. Thank you for joining us in celebrating his life and lasting impact. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos just like this. Take care and bye for now.